Josh, we're not done with all the media days, but the P4, A4, whatever you want to call it, they're done. ACC and Big Ten wrapped up yesterday. Big 12 was a few weeks ago, and obviously SEC was right after that. What is your big takeaway from talking season about the off-field stuff and where we are as a college football viewing populace, and what the leaders think that we want to see and want to have versus what we actually want to have?
I think the leaders think that we're idiots is what I really think. I mean, great. So there is this really massive disconnect about, I have these conversations at bars with people all the time. By the way, big believer in this. This might be self-belief. Paul, I really think you could drop me into any place, give me 2 months at the bars. I could run an election for you on either side of the aisle and win it. Because you can learn, you just talk to people and you figure out what they think and how they feel. Mm-hmm. And then if you start pressing them, you can really start making some headway, because people are still not cool with athletes being college athletes being paid. It really, really just bothers them.
I think that's one of those things, a friend of mine, when they were talking about loan forgiveness, was like, I think that's bullcrap. Nobody did it for me. And I'm like, well, I mean, there's a lot of things that past generations didn't get. And right. I can go really dark on this, but nobody would be you know what? No, you have to stay this way because it didn't happen for me. No, you just be like, oh, damn, I wish I was born later.
I work with a guy who played linebacker, David Basil, played at Arkansas. He's had 20 surgeries, thumping A-gap line, run-stopping linebacker. I mean, guy gave his body. I mean, he's still limps around our station now. That guy gave his body, did not have anything to show for it. But guess what? Not as many games were on TV back then. So that's just the nature of the beast. And the thing is that, we'll get text to our radio show all the time. People are like, I have worked for X amount of years and I don't, teachers don't get paid this much. I had somebody the other night who was like firemen and cops and soldiers. And man, people don't watch my mom and dad drill teeth. They're dentists. They don't do it. We have a radio show. We're on a thing here. Millions of people don't watch us. And guess what? The All-State good hands catch every single field goal kick. All right. You know why? Because 10 million people are watching and All-State wants their stuff out there. We're chucking footballs into Dr. Pepper cans at halftime of every championship game. You know why? Because 10 million people are watching you do it and Dr. Pepper wants their stuff out there. Okay. So this is the second most popular American sport. They are the athletes are the labor. Just because they used to play for the love of the game in your eyes does not mean they should not be paid. Brett Kavanaugh, the Kavanaugh consent, as we call it, even said it's the only billion-dollar industry in America where the labor is unpaid. Okay? Yeah. Only one. And this is the other frustrating part to me is when the powers that be, Greg Sankey, we talked to him last week, and he used terms like, we need guardrails. What are guardrails? What does that mean? Because in every sports league, there are rules. And those rules are collectively bargained between a players association and the league. And guess what you have to do to have a players association? You need to make them employees. Yeah. I know it's going to make people feel gross, but I remember this game last year. The A&M was it 3 or 4 overtimes against LSU. I forget however many it was. Maybe it was Auburn.
Yeah, last year was Auburn, but yeah, last year was Auburn.
That game still gave me all the feels. You gonna sit here and tell me because one of the receiver, he's making money, you don't get the feels anymore? That's ridiculous. The NFL is most popular American sport. All those guys are getting paid. I mean, this is the weird part to me is the idea that you could pitch guardrails to us. Guardrails are rules and rules are collectively bargained. If you keep denying that, then we're going to keep getting individual lawsuits like Diego Pavia's and rules are going to keep changing. And we're never going to get anywhere. If you're tired of stuff changing, which I think everybody, that's the sense I'm getting is I think people are mad, but really what they're mad about is that it feels like it's all changing too fast. People hate change. And I think the problem is that there's nobody stepping up being okay, time to actually work on solutions for how we can get a hold of this stuff.
Who is a lot of coaches. because they're they have to. Like coaches, though, they are regimented human beings, right? Yes. They're the ones who like, look, at 7:00 a.m. we do this, at 10 o'clock we do this, at noon we do this.
And we aren't late.
And we do all this. And then now you have to throw this all on the other part. It's like, oh, well, now I have to budget time around everybody to negotiate contracts or to, call a 16-year-old kid and go like really in my head to like, do I have to pay this kid $400,000 to come here when he's not even grown into his body yet? I don't know how much weight I can put on him. I know he runs fast. I know he looks good. Like I'm guessing on this, like there's not a draft. And you could take all the plans of like, we interviewed Cody Campbell a couple weeks ago and it was fascinating to talk to him.
Yeah.
Because his plan is not what you would expect from like a big kind of billionaire guy. Like it is egalitarian in that you negotiate everything together. The kind of rising tide theory there. Everybody makes more, like he said, everybody's going to make more money than they're making right now, even the SEC and the Big Ten. So they shouldn't stop me on this because this plan, raise.
You got a tough time stopping him, man. He's a force of nature. Isn't
exactly.
He?
And then the other thing about it is, okay, we have that. We're going to collectively, we're going to negotiate the rights all together as a college sports playing populace or as an entity. Then we are going to have this agreement here that will allow us to deal with the athletes and their compensation in a rule structured format that we can build around. And you tell them like, okay, we're good for all of that. And then they read like page 2, like after you make them employees, they're like, no, this is garbage. Light it on fire.
Right.
Socialism. You're like, stop.
They want help. It's the Alan Arkin line from Argo where he's like, they might be aliens, but they want health and dental. Yeah, it's like they don't want that.
Yeah.
That's the thing, but that's the part of this is that, like, we have to, I got some pushback from one of my hosts the other day. They were like, but this is based on college campuses. Man, the library being 2 blocks from stadium doesn't have anything to do with it. Like, it's the logos. It's the logos. Like, that's what we care about, man. It's like the Texas is the Longhorns. Ohio State, is the Buckeye. The Michigan's the Big M. Like it's not the education. It's not the schools that make this stuff. Like these guys. And the other thing, Paul, I don't think we talk about enough too, that makes people uncomfortable. Like these guys are athletes. If you're a believer in God-given skill, then this is their God-given skill. And most people aren't playing football at 30, even less at 35. And there's like 3 guys who play at 40. Right. So like their stuff is flipped. For us, we'll go along in life. We'll make more money as we go along. For them, if their ability is their athleticism, and their talent, then this is their chance to make that money and cash in on it. And we have the money to give them. Just for so long, we've been in a system where it's like, we don't have to pay them. So guess what? We'll give Josh Heupel $9 million. Is anybody bidding against us? No, but who cares? Yeah. And that's the thing is like, guess what? Now it matters. Yeah. And I think some of these guys don't want to give it up. I think, though, on their coach's point, I feel like the coaches are more pissed about the portal. Like, they just want a portal schedule that works. But the problem is you're lining up the portal schedule with an academic calendar. So it's like you can't go to class, which I don't think they should. But, like, you can't fit the windows with the calendar in a way that makes sense, apparently.
Yeah. That they've got to figure that out. Like, there's got to be a way for me to transfer academically in the middle of a semester, and take
summer school anyway. We have online classes now, especially after COVID. Like we can get it.
Yeah. Like okay. Maybe like you don't have the exact class that I'm taking, but you have something similar I can hop into. And if you do it early enough, like say the portal window is, February 1st, right. Like school's only been in there for 3 weeks. So you can maybe catch up, I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, you could have athlete specific classes for portal windows. So you could group athletes together in class. Like they could be like, you get offered like a few electives and a few general education classes that would allow athletes to come in, hit the right credit hours, and like they could all do it together, right? So you got tennis portal players, soccer portal players with your baseball, your basketball, and your football, and they can all be together and take classes in a separate when that's a month later than everybody else. What I mean? Like, this is not the end of the world. No. Like I think we can figure that one out. But I mean, portal rules are part of what we're talking about here too with pay. Like.
Yeah.
Like, because everybody's like, we got some, like, it's always like somebody's got to do something. And it's like, it's not going to be me though. Like, are you going to do it? Like, that's the thing is who's actually going to do this?
Yeah.
Like, who's going to do any of this?
Yeah. Yeah. By the way, we just had a guy like burst in here and ask a question. So if people hear that,
read the damn sign.
Yeah. Look, I'm telling you, adult literacy in America.
What did he ask?
He probably about the, was it like about the
It
leasing?
was for the leasing office.
Yeah. Literally says like, what we are, but, and then when he walked in and saw cameras, like, I don't know how many like voyeuristic leasing offices you have around the world, but whatever. Like there's reality shows about everything. It could have, The Complex.
Yeah,
on A&E. So, Josh, what teams are you buying and what teams are you selling that might be outside the norm right now nationally?
It's a great question. I really hadn't thought too much about teams that I'm buying like outside the norm. Let me think. I mean, do you mean like big conferences? Like what is the norm? Do you want me to go SEC Big 10? Do you want me to go Big 12? I've been beating this drum. I'm not buying Texas Tech until they give me a defense.
Yeah.
Like I just don't believe defense can exist in Lubbock.
I think
you're not allowed to or something.
I'm going to push back. I think Shield Wood's going to get something out of him.
Okay. I mean, yeah. Well, but just the thing is, like, how many years? I mean, we were down there a couple of years ago, Paul. But like, how many years have we heard about the Tech kind of coming up? And I'm not saying they're not in the come up, but like, it's very clear that their big problem is defense. And I'm not saying there's not a chance yet. You're right. Shield Wood could easily do it, and they've been building towards it. I mean, personnel wise, they are. And like Ole Miss bought a defensive line last year, like that was nasty. So like it's very possible that you can portal it, but until I see it, I need the proof because the offense needs to make sure they maintain a pace that allows the defense to be competent. And so I think finding that balance has not been done yet. So I'm selling them until I actually see something good. Same at Big 12, Kansas. I'll buy the dip. Jalen Daniels, good to see him back again.
Mm-hmm.
I'll buy that every day of the week.
Yeah.
So I'll go on the KU side. Nationally, like the big teams, I'm still going to sell on Michigan just because I don't know how good Underwood's going to be. Really got no idea on that front. And I'll buy A&M. If Marcel Reed can be like an average passer, they're going to be really tough to beat. And also love me some Mike Elko. So I'll buy some A&M.
Marcel Reed's interesting because kind of like, well, here's the deal with Texas Tech. They don't need to be the doomsday defense of the Purple People Eaters. They just need to be better. They just need to like one stop more per quarter and you're going to win all your games. Like, you're winning most of them. If Marcel Reed can throw for 210 yards a game and have a 2.5 to 1 touchdown to interception ratio and not fumble, that's, what have you done to stop A&M? Because they're going to run the ball well. They're going to play good defense. And, again, he doesn't have to throw for 350 a game. If he does, great. Then that means probably A&M is legit. But again, if you want 215 to 225 with a 250 plus rushing yards a game and no turnovers, then they're going to be fine. Yeah. But that's the big question. Like nobody's asking him to be Jaden Daniels,
right.
But if you can be like, Diet Coke. Yeah. If you can,
right.
So if you can,
I think with them, so, like last year, like one of their better qualities is the fact that they rotated quarterbacks because it was like every 3 games, teams were figuring out the quarterback that was playing.
Yeah.
And they would make the flip. And it was like, oh my God, they bombed Missouri. They just carpet bombed Missouri.
Yeah.
And it's like, here comes Marcel Reed into the game. And it was LSU where he just lights them up.
LSU, yeah.
Yeah. He's just like, oh my God. And they had the rotation now. It was like, all right. It was like the 3rd time through the lineup for a pitcher. It was like, they figured out his stuff. We got to go back. Flip again. And it was like, they can't hit this guy, So it was, that was interesting. I'm totally on board with that. I'm right there with you on that front. Can we buy some Oklahoma? Can we make a little investment?
I'm with you. I'm a big John Mateer guy. I'm a big Ben Arbuckle guy. I'm a huge Jay Knott fan. I was bummed to not. He was hurt last year, and having to now all of a sudden watch more Cal games as an ACC guy. But look, actually, I should be glad he was injured last year because that was Florida State's only conference win. was Cal. But
Fun
you
times.
know, but I think Jaden Ott and John Mateer together, not to mention some of the wide receivers that they brought in, that's going to be fun. That's going to be super fun. There you go, Josh Neighbors. This is 365 Sports.